The conundrum that is love. It was still early in the morning, but already hated my 21st birthday. My so-called girlfriend never failed to ruin things for me, and today was the last straw. It was like she lived to make me unhappy. I was having serious doubts of whether I loved her or I was just lying to myself. Ever since we started dating, we have fought nearly every day. The person that I asked out is not the person that I ended up in a relationship with, and sometimes I felt that being single would be much better. The morning had started relatively well when she wished me a happy birthday, but soon it turned into a screaming match between us, over something trivial as me going to spend the day with my friends. I apologized and offered to cancel the plans. However, she called me selfish and told me not to talk to her ever again. I was feeling very emotional and hurt at this point, so without thinking, I broke up with her. And as expected, she did not take it very well. She took the present that she brought and left. It took me a while to feel okay after breaking up with her, and I did not even feel like going out anymore. It was not that I was hung up over her. I felt relieved that she had left me alone, but I was wondering why her love never worked out for me. All I had to show were fleeting romances or disastrous long ones like the one with my ex. Everyone seemed to have it so much easier than me, but connecting with someone has always been difficult for me. I did not feel those butterflies or warmth that everyone else did. Just went with the flow and got into relationships because I did not want to be alone. I wondered if I was even looking for love in the right place sometimes. I decided not to be a buzzkill and go to the park with my friends, as planned, instead of wallowing in self-pity. And on the plus side, I would get to hang out with Rowan, who is new to our friendship group. I met Rowan a few weeks ago when I was buying a vinyl of a very old album by my favorite band. It turned out that we both liked the same band and we instantly became friends. I invited him to hang out with me and my friends a couple of times, and sure enough, he fit into my dysfunctional group. There was Ethan, my best friend since high school, Hannah, George, and Ian, who were my main circle. I had been chatting non-stop with Rowan ever since that day that I met him, and I felt that he genuinely got me more than anyone did. It was so much easier for me to open up to him about my confusing feelings about love than it was with anyone else. He was even more supportive of me than my own girlfriend at times, which I really appreciated. Hours would fly past with us just talking about random stuff and enjoying it. As I was texting him to thank him for his birthday wishes, I got a text from Ethan, informing me that he would be unable to attend our trip to the water park, because his dad needed him to help out with an emergency at the dealership. I was very disappointed because I wanted him more than anyone else to be there for me on my day, but I figured that everyone was just disappointing me on that day. I got up and got ready for the park and was out of the house about 10 minutes later. There were clear blue skies, which was out of the ordinary due to the recent weather, but I cheered up soon enough. I met the rest of the gang at the park and we had a blast. Being around them helped me feel much better about my terrible morning, and soon I was not even thinking about what happened. When Rowan hugged me happy birthday, I felt a warmth that I had never felt before, which caused me to be slightly taken aback. While everyone was having fun and I had drifted away from the group because I got lost in my thoughts, I suddenly heard someone beside me. "I know I've not known you for years. I know that something is bothering you," Rowan said. "I feel really alone." "The feelings have not left you alone, have they?" He tilted his head to the side. "Not everyone can follow their heart like you," I said. It was still a difficult decision to leave all that I had so that I could be comfortable with my sexuality. Do not feel as if you have to find the answers about who you are immediately. The one for you will come soon enough. He squeezed my hand. I understood what he meant, but how could I tell if I was feeling was even real or all in my head? From the day I met him, I felt a peace that I never had before in my life. But who knew what it even meant? I did not understand things such as love, and I doubted that I ever had. I just wished that it was much simpler for me to figure out that I liked someone and be in a relationship with them, but I had not found that someone yet. No, that was a lie. Maybe I had, but I was too much of a coward to admit it. "Thank you, I really needed to hear that." "Good, because you have to have fun today. Today is your day after all," he said. I listened to him and had fun whenever I felt as if I had enough. He would pull me back to the side and listen to me tell him everything that was troubling me. In the late afternoon, I got a message from Ethan. "Ethan, sorry that I did not make it. Please come over to my place so I can give you your present." Me, "Sure. Are you coming with us to the club later on?" "Of course. We can go there together." So then at about 6 p.m. the others went to their places and we decided to meet up at a club later on. In the meantime, I went over to Ethan's house to get my present and fetch him. He had an apartment pretty close to the water park, but Rowan asked me to drive him to get some headache pills before I went to Ethan's place. I agreed, of course, and quickly drove to the pharmacy with Rowan. We were barely in there for 20 minutes, but it felt like Rowan was stalling due to how unsure he was about which medication to take. I did not judge though, because I knew that different meds have different side effects. Finally, he picked up some pills and I drove us to Ethan's house. By this time it was nearly 7 and getting quite dark. I knocked on Ethan's door, but when I opened it, the house was dark. "Dude, what is up with your..." I started. "Surprise!" a lot of people shouted, and then the light came on. I instantly got tears in my eyes when I saw what he had done for me. He had organized a party for me, which was probably why he had not been able to come to the water park with me. I hugged him tightly when I saw him and refused to let go, causing everyone to burst out laughing. "Okay, I still want to have my ribs after tonight. You can let me go now," he chuckled. "You're the best," I said. "And guess what the theme is?" he smirked. I looked around and that was when I noticed the amount of alcohol that was in the house. So I was an alcohol virgin, because my family had not been very big on drinking when I grew up. I had nothing against it, and my friends usually drank with me around, so I didn't get what he was even talking about. "Alcohol virgin," he said. Everyone including me started laughing. I thought that he was not serious when he said he would get me to drink alcohol when I turned 21. But I guess he had done it and there was no way to get out of the peer pressure. "You're so evil," I laughed. "I learned from the best clown," he grinned. I figured that since it was my 21st birthday and I had never drank before, I would do it just this once. Plus, I was still feeling bad about the events of that morning. My first time drinking alcohol was very interesting. Everything was clear in the beginning until it wasn't. When I was on my second glass, that was when I started to feel the effects. It was a pretty small party with close friends, so there was not much partying involved, which meant we were drinking most of the time. It was like there was no filter on me. I kept talking and talking as if every thought that it went through my mind was going through a sieve. I found myself on some couch with Ethan, Rowan, and Hannah surrounding me as I talked about my feelings. "I broke up with my girlfriend this morning. Is it bad that I do not feel terrible about it?" "I mean, she was always mean to you," Hannah suggested. "What is love then? Why is it that you all seem to have it figured out but cannot even begin to form a healthy relationship?" I asked. "Well, we're in the same boat. I've been going through guys so fast this past year that I think I'm cursed," Ethan said. "At least you've been getting some type of action. My dry spell is terrible," Rowan sighed. "All I want is someone who understands me and is willing to be patient with me. I mean, there is someone like that in my life," I said. "You are too kind," Ethan said at the same time that I said Rowan. There was a bit of an awkward silence and everyone just stared at each other without saying much. But since we were drinking, the awkwardness passed and soon we were talking about something else. I had revealed something small when I spoke earlier, but I had left out the part where I was 90% certain that I had a crush on Rowan. My feelings were even more evident now that I was inebriated, but I did not know what to do. I was pretty shy to even make a move, and Rowan would never say anything, even if I liked him. He also revealed to me a few days ago that he was always shy about making moves on someone, so he usually waited for the other person. So even if he liked me, I would not know. When I got up, I immediately felt so dizzy that I had to hold on to Rowan's leg. I noticed Ethan whispering something to Rowan as I was leaving to go get some water, but I could not make out what it was. The party was in full swing now, so nearly everyone was dancing and there were a couple of people that I did not recognize, but I did not pay that much attention to them. I suddenly got a message from Yvonne while I was trying to find my way through the crowds. "Yvonne, are you going to apologize yet?" Me. "Leave me in peace, woman. Why must there be a war with you every day?" "Yvonne, you cannot just break up with me. You're a loser." I did not respond to her. She started to send me multiple texts at the same time, which she did when she did not get her way. I ignored her this time around. I could not seem to get any water though, so I ended up getting back to the others, but I only found Rowan sitting on the couch. He smiled at me shyly when he saw me approaching, and a tiny butterfly started to dance in my stomach. As I was sitting down, the music suddenly turned off and everyone started to sing the happy birthday song. I felt really awkward, and I didn't even know where to look, which was the effect that that song had on me. But then Rowan placed a hand on my shoulder, and I did not feel so shy anymore. After I had blown out my candles and dodged my friends trying to smear me with cake, they did speeches, which was quite entertaining because everyone was so tipsy. I was just laughing through Ethan's speech, where he was telling the story of how we met, when the person I expected the least suddenly interrupted him. "Where the hell is Sid? I need to talk to him right now." "Come on, Fred, stop being a coward." Her eyes could barely open, and I guessed that she had been using again. "Yvonne, please leave," I said calmly. "No, I will not leave until you take back what you said this morning. You cannot just break up with me like that," she started tapping her foot. Yvonne, we are toxic. I cannot keep getting back together with you, I said. I guess I was good enough when you wanted to hide who you were. You're such a... She did not get a chance to finish, though. Get the hell out of my house and stay away from Fred. Have you not done enough? Ethan suddenly snapped. He never snapped at anyone. He was always so nice, so this was a huge surprise. She gasped and turned on her heel, leaving the party. Some soft music started playing and everyone got back to what they were doing, but I was kind of shaken. Yvonne had been a fixture in my life for a long time, and I had tried but failed to love her. But I had only known Rowan a few days, and I was starting to feel more emotions for him than I had for anyone in the past. Often I heard of people who suddenly connected with someone and they knew right then that they had feelings for them, but I did not think it was possible until I met Rowan. Are you okay? Rowan said. I'm trying to be. You know, I brought this on myself, I sighed. And why would you believe such a thing? He asked. I've always been so confused about love. I should not have stayed with her for as long as I did. It was not fair to her, nor to me, I said. You know what? Ethan said to me earlier. Tell me. He told me to stop worrying too much about consequences and just go with the flow, he said. Ethan is one of the wisest people that I know. I know we've only known each other for a short time, and you know how shy I can be. I'm going to say this before I chicken out and regret it. I have a crush on you. He looked down and blushed. I was elated. He felt the same way that I did about him, and it was not in my head. I'm not always sure about a lot of things, but I'm sure that I like you, I said. Then I leaned in and I kissed him. The kiss was magical and everything that I had imagined that it could be. I heard some of the people around us whistling and clapping hands, so I pulled away. All of my friends had happy expressions on their faces and they were clapping for us. Surprised it took you so long, Hannah approached us. What do you mean though? Rowan asked. I noticed a bit of chemistry between you two, but I was not sure, she said. Just then, Ethan came to us and brought me in for a hug. I'm happy for you, bro. I don't know if it was me, but his voice had a bit of sadness to it. Just as I was about to reply, he walked away and started to speak to someone else. I forgot about what was going through my head for a bit and focused on the person who I had just kissed. I suddenly felt like being alone with him. The party was in full swing, but I kind of wanted to kiss him again, and I did not want to do so in front of our friends. Want to get out of here? I asked. Yes, of course. Let me go and get my jacket, he said as he got up. I also got up as well to start saying my goodbyes, and thank you to everyone for the presents. As I was making my way through the crowd, I heard a conversation between Ethan and our friend Ian. Hey, what you did for Fred was really selfless. I know how you feel about him, but you put his happiness above all else, Ian said. As long as he is happy, even if it's not with me. He's my best friend before anything else, he said, but I could detect that hint of sadness in his voice. Ethan, I said. He turned to look at me and his eyes widened. No, please do not feel bad for me. I just want you to be happy and Rowan is a good guy, he said. I nodded and soon Rowan came to take me with him. On one hand, I was happy that I had kissed my crush, but I was also sad that it was at the cost of my best friend's happiness. But I knew that he would want me to be happy, so I walked off to my car with Rowan, feeling a lot lighter than when I had that morning. The end. Donate to us on Ko-fi to support our channel. Link in the description. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.